everybody. Gnashing of Teeth. I'm Casey.
Not Milo.
Check it out, G. It is episode 24. 24. What do you think?
Yes, sir. Almost 25, quarter to 100.
There you go. There you go. Quarter to 100. What are you drinking? I see it.
Got a
The
Fiji,
the Fiji staple. Happy
and then I got a
Dad?
blue.
You did a
No,
Happy Dad tonight?
no, no.
Oh,
I got a blue Gatorade.
good for you. I ordered something pretty cool. My travel laptop bag.
Yeah.
I bought a new one. Want to see if you liked it. Samuel, Lilith. I should have bought two and just sent you one. That's legit, huh?
No.
My travel bag's all jacked up, dirty and gross, so I wanted a new one. So anyway, support the war support. There it is. I'm drinking a beer, you know. I'm doing the
Yeah.
I'm doing the normal thing.
There you
Everything
go.
going good? Everything going good for you, G?
Thus far.
There you go. Yeah. My my boss's last day was today. So this week everyone was just dumping everything on me. Learn this, learn that, do this, do that, learn this. So a little bit of pressure, but I got it. That's crazy. It's like going into your office and you have it all to yourself. It's crazy. But
Hmm.
it happened. And good for him. Good for him. He's gonna do some other things, which is cool. I'm trying to think what else is going. Oh, tonight there's some death metal bands playing local. I might for $15 go see four of them. I might do that. Probably not, but I might.
There you go.
So I was reading one of my favorite books of all time, The Nocturnicon by Constantinos. Epic book, which led you and I having a conversation the other day about necromancy. And so probably it'd be a cool topic to talk about in this episode is the old necromancy. And it's pretty much up our alley, right? Because this is where you're whatever means necessary, you're trying to talk to other things, other beings, other like whether it's dead or whatever. So the history goes like this. Necromancy never had the name, the bad name it has now. In the beginning, it was just people reaching out to whoever would answer. Could be an angel, could be someone dead, could be whatever. And then, necromancy got demonized and whatever. I don't know what happened to take it the wrong way. It's probably because demons answer and fallen angels answer and ancient evil things probably answer.
Hmm.
Regardless, it's people using the same stuff we do, right? They're doing seances, they're trying to, summon demons to talk to. They're doing the pendulum and they're doing the Ouija. And basically, you're just trying to find answers. Now,
Hmm.
I have a cool story to kick this off. I can't say the guy's name. I worked with him, and he was shaking when he told me the story. This is back in the desert, New Mexico. Now, this guy, stand-up dude, likable guy, like he's married, went to school 4 years. He's an engineer, just good guy, just normal, getting after it kind of guy. Now, he spent the night at a friend's house. It has a very, very old home, like in the middle of nowhere in New Mexico. And the way the place was set up was like, okay, here is the mom's room, and his room was here, and then there was a vacant room next to his, like a bathroom. And he kept hearing feet. My buddy, he's not my friend anymore. He moved on to bigger, better things. But um, actually think he's working with Elon Musk right now. To be honest with you, uh, he's like an engineer at Tesla. He probably never seen Elon. I'm just saying. So he keeps hearing footsteps up and down this hall, right?
Hmm.
And he hears the vacant room door close. And he's like, that's pretty odd, you know. And so his buddy's sleeping, he's up. So he knocks on the wall, and then it knocked back. And he said, no way. And so he woke up his buddy and he said, hey, something walked down the hall, went into the empty room, and then answered my knock. Long story short, because I'm eating up all of our time already. Long story short, he and his buddy walk into the empty room. There's no one there. There's nothing there. And they come back and
Mhm.
they knock on the wall. Wall knocks. So they said one knock means yes, two knocks means no. Do you understand? One knock. So now they're communicating with this thing. So you don't need a pendulum. You don't need a Ouija board. You don't need whatever. These guys are using a wall and they're just knocking back and forth. So
Right.
they're asking it questions. Is God real? Are there aliens? Who are you? And he said his name. Oh, they told me his name. It told him its name. It was just a human boy name, like Toby or something like that. I don't remember what he said. Anyway, I don't remember. Uh, but it had they said, "Can we see you?" And it said no. And they said, "Why? Would it scare us?" And of course, it one knocked. Yes, if I showed you myself, I would scare you. Anyway, uh, it was with them all night long talking. And as soon as light came, it left. And the story goes is he's like a devout born again Christian because he's like, I was talking to like the dead, you know.
Mhm.
But and also another reason why they call it tangible, but it answered all their questions. And they were asking, you can only you're subjective to your questions because you have to ask a question that can only say yes or no. You
Yeah.
couldn't be like, why are we here?
Right.
It couldn't communicate, right?
Mhm.
So this takes you back to why the necromancy or necromancers are considered evil, or you're doing evil things, because if it was me, I don't think that'd make me a Christian. I think that would totally make me go after what that thing was and learn as much as I could from it, where it scared my buddy.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? It's so he would side and say talking to the dead is wrong and it's evil and you shouldn't do it. But it literally clarified all his questions and he became a Christian. What do you think of that?
It's a good story.
It's a great story.
Uh, Sounds like a bit of a quote unquote haunting action going on.
Yeah, but
Um,
we talked about haunting in an episode. This
yeah.
and I don't want to get too far off on this one. Let me tell you this: if you think it's a haunting, why would Asmodeus be opening and shutting cupboard doors? He's
Well,
not.
it wasn't Asmodeus. It was just a shade of a. I don't want to get too much into like personal gnosis about, you know, what has to die, stuff like that. But it's a boy that we're assuming is Toby, that a lot of him has moved on to whatever may be after this, if anything, and a shade of him was communicating with them, right? So if they ask, why can't you show us? And he's like, it'd scare you. Probably if it's just a shade of the person. But that's just my personal opinion on that. But it's a good story. It's a good story.
Yeah, it just
I
goes
would
to
have liked to have been there.
me too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He said it was really friendly. Anyway, what's he talking to? He's talking to, even if it's a haunting, he's talking to either an angel or a demon in whatever religion you want to call him, or someone who hasn't crossed over, just like a dead person's like energy was still there. But how would energy know how to communicate? Oddly enough, it's one thing to say, okay, the guy used to roam the halls at night, so every night you hear some footsteps because it's energy, residual energy, what he did, right?
Mhm.
And so I get that, but to like sit and communicate with somebody, oh, they had firecrackers, and they asked it if it liked firecrackers. I said yes. They said we're gonna go give you some. So they go into the room, nothing in there. They put firecrackers in the closet shelf. The next morning, it's him, dude, and mom, and they walk in and the firecrackers are gone. Yeah. Yeah. And he said, I've been going to church ever since. So
I think it's
that's
neat that you
sorry.
mentioned the consciousness part and no, you're fine. And answering the actual like answering questions. It can't just be like energy if it has like a conscious, if that makes sense. And I think that's a bit
Well,
interesting because a lot of people will say that demons are, or even angels, or even gods are different aspects of the minds. You know, demonologers, for instance, some people think they're actual entities with personalities, and others think just aspects of mind. But
yeah.
to be able to summon a demon and talk to it, and it has its own personality, it's hard to believe that it's just an aspect of the mind. But at the same time, your mind is what's kind of interpreting what you're seeing. So it could potentially be the case. But we're kind of getting off topic.
No, I know.
But
I want
definitely good.
so do you think let me ask you, so the whole point of that story was, is he a necromancer now? Did he
No,
perform necromancy? Or
no,
is
it's
it in
like
the eye
with a
of the beholder?
Christian, it's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
A necromancer is somebody that purposely goes in and does death work,
Right.
right? Commute, like actually, like, you know, you can have a little bit of fun, but if he actually pursued that and started, you know, doing some more divination than just knocks, and you mentioned a Ouija board or a pendulum or other things, or you could even use like a medium in this case, then that
Yeah.
could be
Use a medium.
considered necromancy. It's the act of summoning an entity, divining with an entity, which I guess you could say your friend was doing, but he only did it one time,
Are you reading
presumably.
are you reading the
There's also,
definition? Are you talking the actual definition of necromancy
I
right
think
now?
that's the definition is divination or summoning of.
The
No, I'm
definition
not
of
reading something. I'm just
right. No,
saying
no,
that's
no,
what
no, no. Yeah. So it goes back to
I think that's what it
it
is.
doesn't have to be good or evil. I think it's more like
Mm.
dead. Like you're talking to dead people. You're having seances to ask your dead husband where he went. Is that
Yeah, it's like
like what is the, you know,
it's got a negative stigma to it,
it does.
right? Rest in peace, but if you're communicating with the dead, you're not letting them rest. But presumably, in my personal opinion, most like your soul or whatever moves on. You're not like if I died right now and you came over here and you did like an invocation to me or something like that, you tried divining with me, you're talking to an aspect or a shade of me, but like my soul isn't here.
Right.
It's presumably somewhere else, right?
There's a
But you'll still get my cocky attitude or something
yeah, you got
translated in that divination.
yeah. Yeah, you do. There's a quote or a work or a phrase or something that says, "Why why do you keep going to my grave? I'm not there." It significantly says my body might be rotting there, but I'm not there. Why do you come talk to me at my grave? I'm not there. You know, you go to the cemetery to play music, bro. That's what you do there.
Yeah.
Anyway, anyway, big debate in necromancy about it's death work, right? So it could be anything dead, but demons didn't die. right? Haven't the angels just always been? So if you're doing necromancy, does it even have to do the grimoires and stuff, or is it just you think it's just specifically talking to dead humans or raising dead humans or
Well, there's remorse on some necromancy. Like for instance, I don't know if it's necessarily appropriate to say or even legal, but some grimoires have um, the option where you have a presumably a corpse in front of you, and the spirit or angel, demon, whatever you want, inhabits the corpse
yeah.
and is a literal resurrection. I've read a few grimoires that have something similar to that, but that's obviously not
That's absolutely crazy.
something.
But
Yeah,
I like it. We should do that this weekend. I'm serious. I should
but
fly down there. Let's go to a grave. Let's dig up a corpse. Let's circle it with what we got, and let's.
it's got it's. I might have to edit that one out.
Why would you have to
Of
edit that? We're just talking.
it's illegal.
It's illegal to
It's
dig up a
illegal,
body. Is it
and that's
illegal?
what you just said.
Okay, we're not going to do that. Uh,
Just clear.
where do
All
we
I'm
find?
saying is that
Where do
there's
you find a
some
corpse?
grimoires that have that.
Oh, that's what you're saying. You can get in trouble for this. Yeah, no one listen to that. That's you can't do. You can't go do that. It's illegal to carry around a dead body, isn't it?
Well, grimoires have crazy things that you shouldn't do, anyways.
They
They're
do.
all ancient.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Um, so
Skin.
more modern work. I just want to, yeah, literally, I just want to throw this out there. More modern work of necromancy or death work is mainly to, as you said, communicate with the dead in aspects of helping one, as you said, move on. And that's like a big thing. I don't want to put my personal opinion on that, but there's that. Some people do it to gain closure if like somebody recently passed and you're like really close to them. And then also there's like this huge stigma that these entities that you contact or the dead know where buried treasure is. I've read quite a few grimoires that like you talk to the dead and they'll be able to tell you like buried treasure and shit like that,
Yeah,
which is a
that's
bit interesting.
that. Well, that goes back to the whole Ouija board thing where you're not listening to the demon on the Ouija board or whatever until it says, "I found your wedding ring," and then you go under the thing and lift up the thing, and there it is. Well, would it know that? So, yeah. Well, how would Saint Cyprian have a
Yeah.
whole chapter on where buried treasure is if something didn't tell him? He's
Yeah.
not out there. He's not out there with a metal detector. I can tell you that.
Probably not. But like at the same time, I could say some crazy stuff, right? I could be like, yeah, there's buried
Yeah.
treasure on the east side of Norway, southern aspect, at a large tree. Take 10 paces to the left. You'll see a rock. Dig to
Under
the left
and
of the
underneath the rock,
rock.
there's one piece of silver. All that for one piece of silver. Come on,
Yeah,
Cyprian. Come on,
yeah,
Cyprian. He
yeah,
could have just been laughing like, "Oh yeah, all my sins are okay and I get out of jail if I write this." Yeah, I'll write it. I'll write it tonight. I'm just trying to figure out like what I discovered with my books and the different stuff I was looking at was like necromancy doesn't really deal with demons or fallen angels modern day today. So the idea would be that's a demonology practice or demonology, or you're a, you can be a cultist or whatever. But if you're working in necromancy and you're a necromancer, you're working with, yeah, like dead bodies and dead people more so
yeah.
now,
Well,
right?
like, yeah, like like dead spirits. And I wouldn't use the word necromancer. I think that's a pretty bad term. I would just say either death work or literally just death work.
I was
I,
I was even
ne-
gonna ask, is it even a thing? Do people even use that word anymore?
I don't think so. A lot of modern people call it death work.
Just death work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the whole point and the whole thing is to just get more knowledge and what a dead person would know. Rest in Peace was written by an alive person.
Yeah.
It wasn't a dead person that was like, "Oh, I'm resting in peace. Put that on every tombstone you see."
Yeah. But there's a lot of conflicting information on,
Yeah, I agree with that.
for instance, I'll give a example. There's people that say that they talk to Lucifer.
Yeah,
I was reading a post about this, and there's this person's personal experience is that all the entities that they've asked, the entities said that reincarnation is real. So I go to another post, and entities are basically not answering the question because it goes against, I guess, the greatest word to put is the great work, right? As Alistair probably would say.
yep,
Right? You're not supposed to know what happens. And, entities probably don't want you to know what happens. That's the point of living and being alive today. And some entities say that a whole ton of stuff happens, right? Like there's one post, an instance that I read that where they asked their patron god, and their god said that they had basically a realm for them, right? Is that true? Probably not.
probably
But who am
not.
I to say?
Right.
It's conflicting information. Conflicting information with reincarnation, though, and conflicting information to, some dude out in Zimbabwe that asked a dead spirit if God's real, and the dead spirit said, yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's the beauty about the path is you just formulate your own opinion and your own personal gnosis.
I like how it's evolved. Like kind of the black magic, the dark arts, the necromancy. It's really, you know, man, if I was 13 and I had some book that said necromancy on it, I'd be afraid to open it up. Now I would run over a 13-year-old to get that book. A little different.
I'm gonna have to edit. I'm gonna have to
You're
edit
not
some of
gonna
this
you're not
out.
gonna add nothing. You've already cussed 4 times. What I'm saying is this.
I
Where
literally,
where it was,
I did not cuss.
you see,
I
man.
literally,
So where necromancy was and where it is now all modern, it's getting some light shed on it. It's a little more
it
not
is, and
yeah,
I think
that's all I meant.
not a lot of people are into death work, and they usually are in it only because they're signified deity. If we're talking about like a pagan, for instance, that worships, let's say, Hecate, a lot of Hecate worshippers start death work because Hecate is obviously a queen of the crossroads and has a horde of dead following her. So they'll
Right.
start death work, and
They'll do
that's their calling and stuff.
they'll do death work. The I know somebody that their father had passed away, and she was really, really worried about where he ended up in like afterlife. And so at night she would just dream of like him and hoping he was okay. And then it kind of tormented her for a little bit. And oddly enough, I don't know if this is psychodrama or if it's real or what, but it definitely is up the alley of necromancy. He showed up to her one night and said, I'm fine. I'm fine. And this person, because Mal and I don't use names. This person then said, oh, God did that for me. Well, did you not like summon someone from the dead to be there in an energy form and then and tell you what you needed to hear to get through what you were getting through? You know? Now death is a big deal, right? So you don't know what that person's thinking. The mind can do crazy things. That was even you who grounded me sometimes. And I was like, Asmodeus just tattooed my apartment. And you're like, no, wait a minute. You're burning incense. You got a fan on. Like that can cause some of that. What's the temperature outside compared to inside? You got to have a little bit of that that self critic to say, now wait a minute. So I'm all about saying to that person, wait a minute. Well, you just had some trauma. Obviously, someone you cared about died. You have some trauma. Maybe your brain just conjured that to help you, or it was he can't you perform like that's literally performing necromancy, is it not? Dead person come tell you they're okay.
Not intentionally. I wouldn't call it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't necessarily call it straight up necromancy.
Well,
I think in
you're
order
talking to the
for
dead.
that to be, yeah, but not intentionally. It's like the dude that's a Christian that
Oh,
went to a haunted house. You're not a necromancer because you're
you're right.
talking. She was dealing with trauma.
Right.
This entity that maybe not wasn't even the entity. Maybe it was God
Right.
who put the entity there
But
and just said,
but
"Stop worrying yourself. Here's this," and then she got better.
well, she kept asking though. That was intentional. She kept asking. She's not in a robe with a candle, but every night she's like, "Tell me you're okay. I hope you're okay. I need to see that you're okay."
That doesn't make her a necromancer. You have to actively do some.
So she needs to have a corpse,
She can call herself
and
whatever she
then
wants. I don't care.
you bring.
No, that's just one aspect. That's just a ritual. I just read off
Yeah,
of a
no, it's
book.
all
That's
good.
not.
I
you're
knew
taking
this. See, here's
you're
the thing.
taking it out of proportion.
I'm not taking
Let's make.
really. Here we go.
You
So
look agitated.
I'm not. I'm trying to get down to the bottom of what is the definition of a necromancer? What does it look like today? And are these people just let me ask you this then. If it's not straight up necromancy, it's that girl at least has blurred the lines. Because in theory, she's talking to the dead. Now, sure, she didn't like
I don't think the
conjure it up with
audience.
smoke. Huh? Talk to me. I'm sorry. Our
I don't. I don't think the audience cares. Quite frankly, whether she's a necromancer or not. Did she see the dead? Maybe. I could see Jesus, but it doesn't make me a Christian, right? So
good
it
point.
makes it obsolete. And
Well said. No, that was your
just happened.
glamour shot showed up. If you edit out the glamour shot, I will know and I will tell the world. That is amazing. Good for you. Good for you.
It said recording stop. It said recording stopped.
No, we have
That's the problem.
We have just a few more minutes.
It said it
Anyway,
started. Yeah.
do you have
It doesn't
anything?
matter. I'll edit this whole thing.
Do you
I'll
have any?
edit this whole thing out. If I even upload this, because
You're gonna upload.
you're a bit
One.
choppy. I'm assuming I'm choppy.
Oh yeah,
I'm a bit
you'll
choppy
be
as well.
talking a sentence all of a sudden you're just like this.
Yeah, that's what you're doing right now.
Yeah, I just froze.
This is all I'm saying.
Do you, what?
This is all I'm saying.
Go ahead.
Can I please? No, but nobody cares if she is a quote unquote necromancer or not. A modern death worker is just somebody that's basically a medium or that communicates with the dead and does it for, I won't even say that, just who divines with the dead. That's what I'll put it as. Number two, that's just a modern day use. It's not as we should stop using the necromancer label. Number one. Number two, good topic. I enjoyed it, even though your internet was super choppy. Mine was too. This is going to be a joy to edit. And number three, I have a book on the way.
Ooh.
It's by Aseneth Mason.
Okay, yeah.
It's The Rights of Lilith.
Good for you.
Long coming. Long time coming, but it's finally out, so I ordered that. That'll be here Monday. Number whatever number I'm on now. This will be the
4.
last
I'm
one
getting
I
good at
say.
numbers. I'm getting good at this.
Samuel David, the person that made Rod and Ring, which is a
Yes.
Mesopotamian religion book. He's coming out with his second book, which is
Mhm.
called The Red Shepherd, which is about Doomazud. Just figured I'd throw that plug in there. I'm going to pre-order that one too. Looks beautiful.
There
That's
you
all I
go.
have.
Good for you. Get it done.
I, you know what? I'm actually going to say one more thing, just because I can. You
Here we
told
go.
15 stories.
I'm sorry.
On the next episode that we have a necromancy discussion, we're going to talk about actual death work in modern practices instead of telling stories. I just want to throw that out there.
I apologize that I went off there. I had a bunch of people talking to the dead stories, bro. That's
I think
necromancy.
it, I think it's good. I think it's good. I think the audience will enjoy it.
Hey, look, look, we can pencil in sometime another episode that's just death work, modern day death work, and you and I can have another episode. What do you think of that? Huh? Be part of the
All right.
solution and not the
All right.
problem. Why don't you try that?
All right. I'm
Anyway,
gonna have to start titling. I'm gonna have to start titling these just Gnashing of Teeth episode 24. No title, just 24. It
you
went
could
off the rails. So
you
just
could just be like Gnashing T24. Casey just talks. I do. But I felt like they're important stories to get the we have to find the delta. What is death work?
I,
What's the definition? What's the origin? What are we dealing with?
yeah, but you know what you did? You stuck on 24 hours worth of content on a person that was having like some trauma about their father passing. You're like, is she a necromancer because she saw a vision of him?
I'm talking about the definition. They communicated. Whatever. I'm not getting into this. I'm not getting into this. I hope someone
I'm
respond.
commi-
Send me an email. gnashingofteethpodcast@gmail. Send it to me or someone comment and straighten this kid out. I'm just wanting the definition, bro. That's all I'm asking for.
I think another cool thing we could talk about is ancestral work,
Hey,
which is a bit of necromancy.
yeah, it is. That's actually cool. All right, we are absolutely out of time. Let me speak. I'll let you summarize. I apologize that I kind of went off on a couple stories. I apologize. I thought it was essential to build the foundation of what we're about to talk about, because if you didn't know what it was, you're welcome, even though Milo wants to just talk to people at a scholar level. I know
Can
where I
I
come from. I
can
know
I do
my
the
roots.
thumbnail now? Is that the correct way?
Yeah, 24.
Okay, let me talk so the camera's on me so I can screenshot this part. Okay, boom.
There you
Or
go.
or we'll just, yeah,
Whatever you want to do. Well, there's you and me in that
whatever.
thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Summarize the show. I'm done.
You just apologize. I think I think that it was a good topic. We definitely have to touch on it a bit more, in different aspects of it, modern day death work practice, ancestral work as well. And that's a nice smile. I think we did go a little bit off the rails, and I think we have to. We're still trying to find a blend of like having fun and also providing good entertainment or information. I mean, entertainment and
Yeah,
information and balancing it.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's what we do. We have fun, but yet it's serious to us. We stay up late reading books. That's what we do. Um, I will pencil in Ancestry and the other one. All right, G, I'm taking off. I might go see some death metal bands tonight.
good for you. It fits with the theme.
Right here. All right. Hey, I'll check you on the next one. Peace. All right.